Hi everybody, it's crazy, it's Monday, and it's time for the UPBGE video of the week. Now before I get started, gotta give a shout out to my trusted, because you guys rock, to my crazy fam, I love you guys. Now we're up to episode number 100, that's right, the 100th episode of my UPBGE experience. We ended off on bottom of page 12 called Hands On World Settings for Multiple Scenes. Now being that this is 100th episode, I had something, I wanted to make grand, but I didn't. But, if you're watching this, thanks for hanging in there for 100 videos. And actually more, because if you've done my learned experience, there's more added to that. So, without any further ado, let's get started. Let's see. As you see, we left off at this page right here, which is page number 12. And we're just going over a lot of the things you can do with the world settings and other settings that are in your top bar right here. Okay, you gotta forgive me, I'm still finishing up a little bit of a cold I had this past week, which is kind of funny because everything is iced over and it seems like my lungs are too. Alright, so because Blender supports multiple scenes and each scene can have its own world data block, the physics settings can be set independently per scene. This means it is possible to create multiple worlds, or levels, as they are commonly called in games, each with different physics settings, all contained within one Blender file. For example, one could create a game with two scenes, one taking place on Earth and another taking place on Mars. By altering world settings such as sky color, mist depth, and the gravity strength for each scene, you can easily convey the idea of a foreign planet. To create a game with two scenes, open the book chapter 6, Earth-Mars.blend. So what we're going to do is going to come over here to File. We're going to come down to Open. We should already be in the chapters, but what we're going to do is going to come up here, okay, or you can actually hit back on this, which would be easier. Come down here to chapter 6, okay, and what they're talking about is Earth-Mars.blend, okay, and now you'll see the blend file that came with it, and if you move around, you get to see that it's a plane, okay, that's what they have it set as, okay. When the game is running, you are in control of a first-person shooter style camera, which can be moved with the W, A, S, and D keys, and rotated with the mouse. Cubes are generated out of thin air, and they fall to the ground according to gravity. Okay, so if we hit P on this right now, oh, cubes are falling. So as you see, W, A, S, and D. Okay, and you can move and turn your camera view. And you see the cubes are just falling in one little spot, and after a while they disappear. Okay, let's hit escape. Alright, so it says first, rename the default scene from scene. So this one right here, we're going to rename it to something more descriptive, such as Earth. So we're going to call this Earth. Earth. Okay. By clicking on the scene data block and typing the new name as shown in basically how I just showed you how to do it. Okay, go to the World Properties Editor, okay, which you are in the World Property Editor, okay. Set the horizon color to light blue. This color right here is white, so let's set it to a light blue. Let's do like that kind of light blue, or should we go more of a blue? Yeah, let's go to that. I like that blue better. Okay, now if you want to do it to their specifications, if you click on this and you want to get the exact number that they have, you can hit 0.133, come down to this one, hit 0.284. This is the color that they chose as the actual numbers. So if you would like to type them in, you can. 0.400. Now, we were pretty close with the coloring, so not too bad. Okay. This way you can easily tell which scene is which. Alright, to make another world, you create a copy of Earth scene by clicking on the plus sign beside the scene browser. Okay, so that's this little one right here. From the drop-down list, select full copy. As you can see here. Okay, if we say now we got Earth 0.001. This will be a scene. This will be the scene for your second world. Rename the new scene you just created from Earth 001 to Mars. M-A-R-S, not Z. Okay, go to the world's properties editor and set the horizon color to a dark orange. Okay, so it's talking about a dark orange like that, I think. We'll see here. I'm going to type in the numbers that they have. Oh, they didn't put any. Oh, they didn't bring up the numbers. Okay. Now, what we're going to have to do, since this has been changed, okay, we're going to come over here to where it shows the physics. Okay. Because the physics is now in the scene, because you can change it per scene now. Okay. See, did I got it right? Yep. To dark orange, which we just did. Okay, then lower the gravity from 9.8 to 3.7. So if you come here to gravity, you hit 3.7 and hit enter, which is the gravity on Mars. To toggle between the two scenes, you need to add a simple logic brick to both of your scenes, so that when the space bar is pressed in the Earth scene, it will jump to the Mars scene, and vice versa. Set up the logic brick as shown in this diagram, which is that right there. Okay. In this case, it doesn't matter which object the logic brick is attached to, because the action it carries out is global. The camera is used on our example to host a logic brick. So you can just use the camera if you'd like, or you can pick anything. You can even put the ground if that's what you want. Okay. Right now I got it on ground. Let's put it back on camera. Let's bring this. Oops. And I'm going to switch back over because you can't see what I'm doing. Okay. So you can either do camera, or you can do that, or you can put it on a light. I've seen people doing on lights many a times. Okay, but since they're doing it on the camera, you got the keyboard, and you've got your always, which is the same as they have over there, and then you got 2 Python scripts and a scene, which is called, and then you got to add in Mars. Okay, that's it. They already had this all set up. Basically, all you're gonna have is when you press the keyboard spacebar, okay, then it will set the scene to Mars. Okay, very simple. Logic bricks are very self-explanatory to a certain degree, but there's sometimes you got to do a little bit of working to get them. But this one is you're setting them set scene mode, okay, and the scene you're going to is Mars. You can pick between either one. So you can tell that when we're on the Mars, we can go to Earth, okay, but this one's supposed to be Earth, okay, because we are on Mars. So now if we switch over to Earth, we set this one to Mars. So now when you click the space bar, it should dance between Mars and Earth. Okay? Well, this is Earth and Mars, but you get the point I'm trying to make. Alright, so in this case, it doesn't matter which one okay, we just said that. Recreate the logic brick in the other scene as well. Set it to load the corresponding scene. Now press P to play the game. Jump between the two scenes using the spacebar. Notice that the gravity and the sky color changes depending on which scene you are on. That's it. Finished game can be found under the name Earth Mars Finish.blend if you want to play around with it. To extend this game, you can play around with the physics properties of the cube, which is hidden in layer 2. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to hit P. And look, we're on Earth. Now if I hit spacebar, poof, now we're on Mars. Okay, so let's bring this down because you can barely see it, and I apologize for that. Okay, so hit play again. Now if you notice at the very top of the screen, that doesn't change. But look, we're on Earth. Okay, and if you hit spacebar, now you're on Mars. Okay, this is some of the neat things you can do with making a game. I mean, technically that could be a game. Planet Jumper. I mean, somebody will come up with something. You can have it to where your character can pick up the rocks. You see, if I hit 0, you'll see that just the camera is the first-person player. Okay, and this is a spawner. What it does is it spawns cubes. Okay, add object cube, and it does this in a timely manner of 400 milliseconds. Okay, and it drops them on these, just drops them down, just puts them there, and they fall because gravity falls. Okay, what they're talking about is layer 2 is this layer right here. There's your cube. Okay, now if I hit both of them together, and if you hit shift and double click or single click on that, you will get both of them to line up at the same time, and there's your cube. What happens is that cube is right here, okay, because it's doing an add object. It's saying, okay, we're going to add this object called the cube, and we're going to put it here where this empty is, and then we're going to delete the empty and make the cube fall. And same thing goes for the next one, because the empty reappears, and guess what? It drops another one. It's basically called an emitter. It'll continue keep putting them out. If you ever played Little Big Planet, the little emitters that they give you, so you can emit stuff, that's exactly what this can be used for. Okay, and the only thing you got to do that is put an always, an and an add. Add an object or edit object which is add object, and then you pick your object you want to add. If you want to do Susie heads, you can do Susie heads. If you want to do an entire scene, you can do an entire scene. Yes, you can do a lot of things with this little setup right here. Okay. Let's see, where are we at? Oh, we're at 12 minutes. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it there. Okay, we're going to end with culling resolution, and now you've got just a basis, and this went really quickly because of the fact that we just built a game that fast. And if you hit play, you've got a game you can continue playing. Just by hitting a space bar, you're on different planets. Now, if you notice, this one, you don't have a character. This one, you do. Because on the other scene, that camera is totally separate from this camera. Okay? That's what they're meaning by that. These are all separate. If you want to be able to view it from the actual camera view, you're going to have to hit circle on your numpad, and that will put you back in camera view. So when you do hit play, now it looks the same. Okay? All right, so that's where we're going to end it at today. Let me go ahead and put it back over to here. Okay, episode number 100. We made it up to page 16. And we're going to be doing culling resolution next week, and play with this idea of these two little planets. Put some trees on it, put some grass in, use some textures. All this stuff that you've been using, that we've read up so far, you can do a lot more with. Okay, and make yourself a game out of it. Post it on YouTube, or put a link in the description, or not description, but in the comments, and I'll take a look at it. I think it'd be cool to see some. If y'all want to do that, that'd be great. But just until next time, we'll see you then.